Hello, my amazing friends. I hope you're doing super well today. My name is Mackenzie and I'm so happy that you're here. So in today's video, I'm bringing to you all about how I overcame my anxiety. I don't know if I shared this with you guys, but I had really severe anxiety for about 5 years, from the age of 14, 15 to about 20. And it was really, really hard for me. And I was able to overcome it. And I feel like I'm so happy that that period of my life happened, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today. But it's still really tough looking back and seeing how much anxiety and how I was having panic attacks and all these other things that were just really not nice. And so I hope that sharing my story with you guys will really help some of you. If any of you are suffering from anxiety or any sort of depressive disorder, just know that you're not alone and that other people have gone through this, and there are tips and tools and things that can help you. I think just even watching this video, if you're suffering from it, is a first step, and it's really amazing. I'm so proud of you for that. So this video is actually in collaboration with my friend Tiffany here on YouTube. We've done some other collaborations, and she's one of my dearest friends. I love her so, so much. We really wanted to help some of you guys who had these sorts of troubles and were having anxiety. So definitely go and check out her video on how she overcame her anxiety, because even if my story doesn't resonate with you, maybe hers does, and I feel like that can also really help you as well. So I will go ahead and link her down below. That was a super long intro, but I'm really excited to share my story with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So the root of my anxiety, I think, really, of course, I mean, everything comes from your childhood, but I remember when I was about 14 and a half, I had like my first dating experience, and the guy cheated on me basically. And even though I was really young, it was still really hard. And that was the first time that I felt a panic attack. Like, I had never experienced anything like that, but I remember finding out about him being with another girl, and I literally couldn't breathe. Like, I felt like I couldn't do anything. Like, I just was frozen, and it was the most awful feeling in the whole world. And I really felt like I had this tunnel vision, and I just couldn't really understand what was happening. It was just really hard. I ended up getting really sick, and that was kind of the root of my anxiety. And I feel like that kind of carried on throughout the rest of the next 5 years. So I always had this sort of pit in my stomach, and I started to get really scared to call people. I started having severe anxiety in social situations. Like, I couldn't be in social situations very well. I had a hard time making friends. I didn't have a lot of friends during this time. And I just had a really tough time in school as well. I wasn't going to school often. School just made me really anxious. And I think it stemmed from being around this guy, but then I think it just kind of carried over to everything in my life. So that was really hard. That was all in high school. And I ended up, moving to California when I graduated high school. And that still was really tough for me, because I was still very shy and I had a lot of anxiety. And I remember I got my first job ever, and not being able to answer the phone or not being able to talk to people or do what I was asked to do, because I just felt this sort of looming pit in my stomach all the time. And it was really hard, and my self-esteem was low. I didn't feel like I deserved anything. It was just really tough for me. So basically, I feel like this attracted this person into my life who I had a relationship with, and he was incredibly abusive, abusive to the max, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And I feel like because of my anxiety, he really used that to manipulate me, and he knew what would make me feel anxious and what would make me maybe feel better, but he was using it in a negative way, I guess. So that was really hard. I was with him for almost a year, so quite a while, and it just became completely isolated from my friends and my family, and my anxiety was at its top, because I just couldn't do anything. I was completely frozen. I was frozen with him. I was frozen in life. I was frozen everywhere. It wasn't until I feel like that was my rock bottom that my dad actually came and rescued me. He was really sweet. I'm really grateful for that. And he told me that maybe, I should try hypnosis. So that was my first experience with hypnosis. Like, I knew a little bit about meditation and law of attraction and stuff, because me and my mom were very into The Secret, the movie. So we would manifest parking spaces and stuff like that. I feel like it wasn't until I hit rock bottom with my anxiety that I really tried to do something, you know, like I really tried I was gonna try everything to try and get rid of it and have a better life and be a better person and not let that happen to me again. So he gifted me, it was like 5 hypnotherapy sessions or something like that. And oh my gosh, like I am so grateful for that because I could not believe how much that changed my life. And basically she taught me a lot of tools and tricks to help me get over not just this bad relationship, but just my fears and my worries and everything like that. So that was really amazing. So after that, I feel like I got better and, you know, I started to be able to force myself out, be in more social situations and learn how to make friends. And I felt like I had to learn all of that at a kind of a later age. So that was what was really, really nice about that. I was just able to kind of pick myself up and let myself move forward, basically. So that's kind of my story. You know, there's lots of ebbs and flows in there and a lot of different things that happen. And, you know, there were good times and bad times, of course, but I just feel like, you know, that was kind of my journey to rock bottom, and then from rock bottom it was up. So I kind of want to share some of the things that I learned when I was doing this hypnotherapy, and then also to, you know, kind of what I learned along the way when I stopped doing hypnotherapy. So I did like 5-6 sessions, I think, and then, you know, I was able to kind of be good to go, to be honest. And then I ended up, that summer, I was 20 years old, I went to Kenya for a summer, and then I ended up leaving for school. It was really amazing because I feel like it was in Kenya that I really started to implement these tools, you know, being more social, not being scared to call people, being in really uncomfortable situations. Like I just took like little baby steps until I was able to really fully be okay. So that's my story. I hope you guys can resonate with that. I feel like actually very vulnerable telling you, but I feel like it's also really good to share with you guys because I really hope that some of you can relate to my story as well. These are just some of the things that I don't even have a list, like I'm just gonna throw them out there and the things that I do every day to help me, because sometimes I still have a little bit of anxiety, but I've been able to really mute it, or of just be able to just say, okay, like I'm feeling anxious, and just the awareness, I guess, like it's more awareness and mindfulness that really helps with that. So basically my number one thing that the hypnotherapy really taught me was meditation. So again, like I said, every video I say is meditation, but it's really true. Like I feel like being able to meditate and letting go of, you know, maybe not being good at meditating, but just sitting down and just sitting there and being with my thoughts and understanding like what's happening in my body when I'm feeling anxious is such a crucial step, because then you're able to kind of be okay with it and be okay with the feeling. And I feel like that's how you're able to make yourself feel better. So that was the number one thing, is definitely meditation. It was just incredible, especially the hypnotherapy, because there was a lot of positivity work. So we talked a lot about affirmations, and that's how I learned about Abraham Hicks and just being able to kind of switch things around if I was getting into a kind of lower place. So that was the number one thing. And then I think my second tip is definitely being able to zoom out. So one of the things that my hypnotherapist talked about was, imagine like your problem that ever you're feeling anxiety about, you're looking at it through a little tiny microscope. And what you can do with a microscope, and a lot of the time I feel like maybe you guys can relate to this, when you're feeling anxious, you feel like you kind of have blinders on, and this is the only thing that you can think about, and it's just like tunnel vision kind of. But if you're able to, when you have that awareness, to zoom your microscope out, then you're able to notice, okay, you know, maybe this little problem isn't as big as I thought. There are other good things in my life, or, you know, maybe I can do something different to make myself feel better. So that's also another tip of mine. Do something that makes you feel good. So whether it's making a cup of tea. A cup of tea is a big thing for me if I'm feeling really anxious, or just at the end of the day, if I've kind of had a long day, making a cup of tea, lighting some candles, and just being in just kind of a more zen state really helps me. So do something small. I think also putting your needs first. So if you're feeling anxious and you're being anxious around other people, you know, don't be afraid to say no to something. And, you know, make yourself feel comfortable, but then also have that awareness where if your anxiety is stopping you from something, or you feel like your needs are not being met, you know, I think there's definitely a difference. So if your anxiety is stopping you from going to a social event, then definitely I would say you need to go, you know, you should definitely go and say yes, and just say yes to everything. That was one thing that really helped me. You know, when I went to Kenya, I was kind of in these uncomfortable situations socially that I had never been in before. And I just kind of said yes to everything. And then I ended up having a great time. So that's one one thing where if you're feeling anxiety about something and you have that awareness that it's your anxiety, then I would say go, because the more that you do it, the more that it's gonna be easier for you to just put yourself out there. But recognizing if you also have a need for something, or if something is just so negative and you just don't want to be around it anymore, to take care of yourself first. So I will do that, you know, if I'm feeling extra anxious and I feel like I don't want to be around a certain person, then I won't, you know, I won't be around them. Or, you know, if I feel like I need to leave something and, you know, take care of myself or go and, you know, have a night in, then I'll definitely do that as well. So having that sort of like intuitive knowing of how your body feels about things, I think is really, really good. And that comes with meditation and, you know, looking at the microscope and, you know, being able to zoom out and those sorts of things. Like all of these are kind of all encompassing. So these are the things that I really learned along the way. And so, yeah. And then I think my last tip would definitely just put yourself out there, you know, like when you have that awareness and you're able to just say, well, you know, maybe it's just my anxiety, then just do it, you know, just when you're able to mute something and you're able to just do it, then it just starts to become a lot more comfortable. I definitely have not always been super open to meeting new people. I haven't always been very open to trying new things, but now I just try everything. I will try everything once, and even if it makes me super anxious, like I just do it anyway. And it's something that it's taken a lot of practice. I mean, I'm 25 now. I started this journey at 20, and then now I'm 25. So it's taken me 5 years to be able to be that comfortable, but it was the baby steps, you know, like don't feel bad if you feel like you're taking one step forward and 2 steps back at some point, because I was that way as well. So just noticing, you know, incorporating mindfulness, you know, learning about mindfulness is something that's going to really help for you as well. Mindfulness is such a huge, huge tool that I would recommend for everybody. Just becoming aware of what exactly is happening in your body, what's happening around you, your relationships, and the different things that are going on in your life. Having that awareness is going to be really amazing for you, because then you're going to be able to differentiate between your needs and just feeling anxious. So those are some of the things that really, really helped me. And I really hope that you guys also check out Tiffany's video, because Tiffany, she is so relatable and so amazing. And I feel like she's going to also give you guys some really amazing tips as far as, you know, overcoming anxiety. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and my story. Oh my God, I felt so vulnerable telling you, but I really hope that it really resonates with you guys. And I love you all so, so much. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you feel like, you know, you're going through some anxiety or some depression now, just know that you're not alone. It's going to get better and you're going to feel so much better. And so do something today that's going to make you feel good, meditate, and just practice mindfulness. And I know that it's going to get better for you guys. So I love you all so, so much. Don't forget to subscribe to me and give me a thumbs up, and definitely check out Tiffany's video. She's amazing. Go check her out. I love you guys, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.